Okay guys, so hey everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to JSMFX. We are here once again to do analysis and reviews of this week and focus for next week. That is reviews for 22nd to 26th of July, the week ending, and 29th to the 2nd of next month, that is August 20, coming into August 2024. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Aussie dollar because I didn't have much to see or any opportunities that I noticed from this pair, because we were really noticing a very long dump. Okay, and this dump was, truly took a while for it to like hit any other POI beneath, so that it can do a counter pullback and also find us some opportunities. All the same, we would have traded it down, but it would have looked like we are couching a falling knife, which wouldn't have been advisable to that. And speaking of advisable, I will show you some trades that I took during the week that were actually very clumsy, and I hope to recover and also heal, and also come up with a rule or discipline way to counter them next time when they appear. So from the weekly, we can see that we are still trending or trading around this high and low. Okay, we are still in that range, and for my sake, I still view this as my daily change of character, which I'll show you in a minute, and still price has pulled down to this point. So what is happening is this part is what now I'm expecting for price to come to. But before we do that, I just want to see how much this pair would give us the opportunity coming next week. So let us go over the daily so that we can see on how it turned about. Okay, so the daily also, we are still playing between the same range. Okay, I'd actually argue also that this high and this low, okay, the price is still in that range also. But if you look very closely, you can see very well that we had this daily change of character right here after this pullback to this extreme POI. And for me, I'm viewing this as a run down to this POI, which after this daily change of character, price didn't mitigate this dip to this POI down here, the purple one. And as you can see also, I have my arrows set, which I was expecting that down move, but all the same, I forgot about the bigger picture, and that's why I was blind to look or maybe follow the trend to the downside the same way it was going. So as you can see now, price is actually really dumping and continuing to dump to this section, which I'm also expecting for it to come to. So let's go over to the 4 hour so that you can see what is going on. So from the 4 hour, we see that price has broken through this structure, that is this low here, and as you can see from what I am seeing right now is that it left this POI, okay, that you see here, and that is where now I'll be expecting price to come to. Okay, and when it comes to this point, now I'll be looking for sales from that area. So I'm going to pull this one here and put it up there. Okay, so that as next week comes, that will be my bias, and also expecting to take trades from that point. We also have these other areas of POI, which I believe they are of no importance right now for me, so I'll have to remove them, because if you look very closely, all the wicks exchanging here, all the wicks have been mitigated except for this void that you're seeing down here. So I'm going to remove that so that I can keep my chart clean. Okay, I think I'll leave this one there because somehow that one shows me a little bit of intriguing moment to see on how I can capitalize on that area when price comes. So what I did actually, I looked into this 4 hour. I looked into this 4 hour POI right down here, and I tried to look for a change of character from it, but I saw that the change of character is still too far, which I really don't expect price to break this high that we just formed before the break of structure. So here is where it's just giving me so many interest in wanting to sell from that point, because we actually mitigated to this area, which actually I was expecting. Okay, I was expecting price to come to this point, and as you can see, price did come, and now it's trying to pull back to that area so that it pull in some more liquidity from people, and also mitigate that void, and see on how we can dump to this section here, which is our daily POI that we're expecting for it to be mitigated. So from the 15-minute, we had our change of character. I think for this case, the change of character is seen to be, let me try and zoom in. So the change of character is seen to be happening around this area. Okay, I put in this, I placed this one here so that I can like monitor the price on how it's forming, and dumping down, and seeing on how I can time on the, I can do the timing on the reversal, but I forgot to actually move it down. So let me pull that down there, place it there. I think that will be my area of trend change. And also, I don't find any POI here which I feel price will come to, but what I'm interested on or in is this POI right here, which is the week of the 15 minutes before he changed the trend. Okay, so there is where maybe I'll be expecting price to see on how it will react from that point. So let's just try and draw that so that we can have somehow like an annotation of how the price might play out next week. So after this change of character, I'll be expecting the pullback to maybe the extreme or some flips on, then maybe trade off from there to this point. Okay, why am I saying so? Because if you look very closely, we have, I view this as my liquidity point, and another confluence also is that this point also is a double top. So yes, so that also can be a trap for us to like push the price down kidogo, and also take trades from this point to that area. So that is what I'm seeing on the Aussie dollar. If you've not checked it out, or rather understood, maybe you can go back and watch it again. Okay, so on Euro USD, same thing to Aussie dollar. As you can see, we have this change of character from the weekly, which now price has not come to mitigate this point, which is my daily POI. I'll show you in a minute. Then now this is where, after the price ranging in this point, maybe it's trying to like pull liquidity, so that from that point they will see on how they'll capitalize themselves so that they can excuse me, make that move to the downside. So that is what I'm viewing it as the bigger picture. So on the daily, let's jump over to the daily. We can see that we are playing in between that high and this low. We had our change of character and also the pullback to the extreme. I don't see any POIs here that we're going to return to. So after that also we had another change of character, but this time price did actually pull back to this extreme right here that I just highlighted right there. So that is also another point of interest that I would love to see price go back to before dumping down and continuing to that trend and mitigate that daily POI that we just saw a few seconds ago. And another interesting thing is, now within this range, you can see that after this high we broke the structure, and in that structure we can see also that we have, I'll try and show you, we have a reaction. Okay, we have a reaction over this demand area, because after this, let me try and draw it out. After this high, okay, price came down like that. Oh, sorry. Okay, price came down like that, then went up, then came down. Okay, then we had a reaction right here, and then we pulled to the downside. So as you can see, price came down to this POI right there, the purple one, which is the daily POI, and now we are trying to pull back now to this, you know, kind of like flip zone. Okay, so maybe now we'll see a reaction from there and try and see maybe what you can do before dumping to the downside. Okay, so that is what I am viewing in the daily for the Euro USD. So let's try now to go to 4 hour, because 4 hour is where now things are getting more interesting. Okay, so on the 4 hour we also have a change of character right here, and we have this change of character, by the way. Let me try and explain something. I think my PC today is acting very slow, but we have a change of character right here reacting off of this POI. Okay, maybe if you try and zoom in also from your charts, you will see that we had this POI right there. Now, one thing I love to say is POIs are very tricky, and you have to really, you know, like pay attention to POIs, because even the smallest POI before like a break of structure, it's still very important, and you have to, you know, like be very, very careful on that ones, so that when you're seeing them, you don't ignore them. Okay, so I think my chart is, you know, really giving me troubles in loading. So as you can see now, after this change of character, okay, I don't see any reaction or any place or supply area for us to, you know, go back to. But what I'm viewing is after this daily change of character down here, because this is a 4 hour change of character, because it's a bit aggressive, it's a bit close. But with this one, I view it as my daily change of character that we just saw. As you can see, price range around here before it dumped to the downside or broke the structure. Now what is interesting is that even in this 4 hour, before that break of structure, we had this reaction, this weak reaction. Okay, so this weak reaction is also wick, that is WICK. It's also a reaction and supply area that was, you know, created before the break. Okay, so what I'm interested in on the 4 hour of Euro USD, this is what I want to see. I think today is just going to be stressful with these charts. Okay, so with this POI, I think let me try and just draw another one. So right there, okay, I think, anyway, my PC is acting up, and I don't like repeating my videos because I love to go with the flow. So yeah, so even as you see from that point, we see that try and zoom in. Okay, so after the price range down here, up here, and broke to the downside, we see that these wicks, okay, the exchange here, so that means there was some demand that was created around here. So with this kind of last high before the break to the downside, I'll be viewing this as my area of interest. Okay, I'll be viewing this as my area of interest, which now, if we look very closely, okay, let me try and, you know, steal that POI to this section right there. Okay, so I used to I think when the week began, I was, you know, viewing the whole of this as buy to sell range. Okay, but now I'll have to refine it up to this I think pivot range or the fractal range, and that is where now I'll be expecting, you know, price to go back to or go to, so that we see on how we can get some opportunities from this point, then you know, dump the price to the downside. I think my PC, my app is acting up, and I don't want to repeat myself, so kindly bear with me. So from this PI, I'll be interested in looking for sales. Okay, but also we need to figure out, or rather see or look very closely, that also in the 1 hour we have this pullback this whole pullback that created this change of character. We have this pullback showing us that there's like is it a bearish flag or a bullish flag? I don't know, but it's a flag. So with this flag, I'll be setting it to be broken to the downside so that we can continue to the trend. So I'm still not sure how far this flag will go, but I'll be expecting to see or monitor it so that when it gets to this point of the 4-hour POI, then dump together with it. Okay, so let's just go to the 15 minutes and see on how we also capitalize on the trades that I took during the week from Euro USD. I hope 1 hour okay, 1 hour is loaded, so we are lucky on that. Okay, and let's just go to 15 minutes and start over from Monday. Okay, I think this Wednesday. Yeah, so Monday is here. So a lot of drama happened during this week, and as you can see, I wasn't actually okay. What I have as a problem with my psychology is I always forget about the bigger picture. Okay, so when I get to 15 minutes, I tend to just stay at that point, and that really I'll have to adjust myself from that, because if you look at Monday, I didn't see any opportunity. But when I noticed there was this change of character, I was waiting for the pullback down here, which happened on Tuesday, and I took the buy trade, as you can see, but it didn't work out. So going in on Tuesday, you can see very well that price broke to the downside, then came over to Wednesday, dumped a bit lower again, and as you can see, it came to this daily POI. So there is where now I was interested in taking some trades, so I started monitoring the price. So after this pullback and the dump, I think this one was caused by the news, I figured out that maybe with this POI that I just showed you on the 4-hour, I was expecting our price to go back to that point. So when price came down, okay, we created a change of character, broke to the upside, then came down to mitigate these areas. So I didn't take any trade here. That was clumsy of me, but next time I'll be watchful of that. So as you can see now, price came down very well, marked as a liquidity, came, took it out, then continued to the upside, built another liquidity, came down to pick other orders, and went to the upside. So all the time I was just actually waiting for magic to happen. But as you can see, price went up. Now from this point is where I figured out, okay, if we have broken the 15-minute break of structure and we left some 4-hour supply area that was not mitigated, then I'll be expecting price to to go up there. But also I was thinking that if we're doing a pullback, then we must have a flag, which I drew up there. And another thing is that I was marking this 15-minute POI, which is the gray color, the gray boxes, and I was expecting price to come to that area and do some more dumping. But I am very much convinced now that the week as the week is ending, that we could be going up to my POI before we continue to the downside. So yes, so I took this trade, as you can see, from this POI right here, and it went on very swiftly. But as you can see very closely, my stop loss was very close. I was actually concentrating on this POI, okay, but I didn't actually think of these other POIs that were up here, as you can see, like this one and this one. So that is what I forgot about when I was doing this trade. So this one was taken out because my stop loss was actually on the next POI that I could have I could have extended my POI to maybe above there, okay. But as you can see, price was down there, my stop loss, and it was hit. So after it came down again, I noticed that we had this POI which price was playing around, and even with this news, we didn't go any lower because I was expecting more reaction from there. So yes, so I didn't take any other trade on Euro USD after this one. So with this one now, I just like gave it to my group and told them maybe you can take this trade to the downside, and also if it doesn't then we'll just accept the loss. So as you can see, the stop loss is 20 pips, but originally if the next week comes to a start, then I'll be putting my stop loss there, so that I'll be advising people to put the stop loss there, so that we can minimize our losses, and also even if it get to be taken out, then I'll be expecting price to come up there like this arrow, and then look for sales from that point to the downside, or rather sell trades to the downside. Okay, but I'm still kind of positive with the flag for the price to at least come down to some other POI like this one, which was actually mitigated with a wick. So I'm expecting maybe to see some moves to the downside before we go up. But if we happen to start with the week and go up, then I'll be looking for opportunities from this point. So that is all from the Euro USD. If you've not understood, maybe you can start over on this section and see on how you can get some new ideas, and also prepare yourself for next week. Okay, so GBP USD, kindly, I'd love for you to ignore this message, but I'll try and explain about it when we get to that point. But for now, let's look at GBP USD. So I think same as Euro USD and Aussie dollar, we are also looking at some change of character right here, like the weekly, right there. And yeah, so right there we have the change of character, and I'm expecting price to come down and mitigate this daily POI. Okay, so the daily, we are playing around this high and this low, and as you can see, we have the dump to the downside. Okay, and before that dump, we can see that the pullback happened, okay, to that extreme, and from there now we are viewing this like we had this low. So let me try and zoom in. So we have this high right here, then we had this low, then we go to the upside. Okay, then it comes down. When it now comes down, it broke the structure, which caused the change of the daily change of character, and now price tried to pull back around here. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, so price came down low and pulled back to this here, to this wicks right here, as you can see, and then price will continue to go lower. Now if you are very attentive, you can see this as a reaction. You can view that as a reaction, and looking very closely, I feel we also were coming to this point of interest on the daily that had not been touched, but we'll just look into that. We'll look into that later when we go to the lower time frame. So yeah, so even for the GBP USD, I'll be expecting more dumps to continue to the downside. So let's go to 4 hour. So 4 hour, pardon me for the change of colors, I did change the daily template. Okay, so from the 4 hour, we can see that we had this change of character. We actually had this break of structure from the 4 hour finally, and from that, before that change of character, before that break of structure, we had this range. Okay, the sell to buy range, which also created some few demands from that point. Okay, so with those demand areas, most likely we should be coming to this daily demand area, which I think I just showed you from that point. So as you can see, price just came to mitigate this week, and is trying to pull back so that it can build liquidity before dumping to the downside. So GBP USD is a little bit tricky because I have a trade running there, and I actually wanted to take profit with my 3R rule, but I feel price is still going to come down to this area. Okay, because refining this point, I don't know if the PI will draw this time. Okay, so it's drawn. So if I could refine the 4-hour POI just to get the sense of, to get the price or the area, you can see very closely that that is where I can refine my area of interest. Okay, so from the 4-hour, what I'm trying to see is that we have this high, then price is trying to pull back now. So with this kind of deep pullback, I have marked that as my high. So our low is still far. Okay, my low is still far, it's down here, right here. Okay, so I'll be expecting, you know, price to dump lower, or even if it won't come low, then maybe it can come to this point or also to the equilibrium point. So we still have these 4-hour POIs that had not been touched, so maybe I'll be expecting price to come down to those areas. Okay, so that is what I'll be expecting on the GBPUSD. So let's go over now to 15 minutes and look into the trades that I took. So let's start off with Monday right here. Okay, so start from this point, but I think this is Monday. Okay, so on Monday, as you can see, last week from that other week, I had this candle and it broke out on that Friday, and after the break to the upside, we can see that there was that pullback, and I noticed that there was that falling wedge which it broke. And after the break of that falling wedge, as you can see, price actually left some demand area around there, right here. Okay, so in that demand area now is where I was expecting price to come to, but as you can see from these weeks, price shot up from that area and went to the upside. And I think I explained about this, that I didn't take my profits thinking that we would come to mitigate this area, but you know, that didn't happen. So yeah, as you can see now, extending this further to the right, like that, yeah, like this. As you can see, price actually took me out. No, this one wasn't taken out. I took partials. I took partials and also trade my stop loss to that area, and you know, yeah, I got out early before my stop was taken out. So after I came down to mitigate this extreme POI, created another change of character, tried to pull buyers, you know, to put in the entries. This, I think that, what do you call them, the sell side liquidity. Then when it came down, I felt now we are ready to, you know, make the move, and I took that trade. As you can see, it wasn't successful. Why? Because it was still continuing to the downside. So after the break of structure right there, price pulled back. I didn't want to take any other trades, so I just marked over that deep pullback as my high and that low, and also waited for price to, you know, like continue. So the next day, price broke to the downside and mitigated this 15-minute POI, which to our left, or rather to your left, if you check your charts, you see where it's coming from. So after that point now, I actually ignored this kind of trade, because after this change of character right here, price went up, but in the mitigation area, I didn't want to take any buy here. But what I said is, if price was going to, you know, like mitigate this, you know, flips on, okay, because after this change of character right here, we had this pullback. Okay, we had, before that change of character, we had this pullback, then we had the break. So after that break, we viewed this as our demand area that we would have been very, very interested to, you know, come back to. So after this change of character, after price went to the upside, caused the change of character, I took this pullback, okay, in the lower time frame, and then dumped down with it, okay, further down, so that we can mitigate this area. And as you can see, that was a very good 3.31R trade. Okay, so I think that was on Wednesday. So coming in on Thursday, I waited for price to, you know, to react over the Frankfurt and the London session, and then from that point we had that change of character. So when you're having that return after this high, then came back to do this return and took that trade, only for me to be taken out, but I was still viewing this as my as my POI that was coming to get hit, but as you can see that didn't happen. So I thought that maybe we would come and touch it from this point, so that was a failed trade. So now after that trade on Thursday, I felt now with this POI right here that was created before this break of structure to the downside, I now noticed that with this POI we cannot go above or anywhere higher than that. So I took that trade from here, okay, and as you can see it is still running, okay, and that is when now I created this box to remind me that if now price comes to this POI, let me try and show you this one, okay, this POI, then I'll be taking this another trade, okay, as you can see right here. Okay, I'll be expecting to take that trade, so let me just move it across to the right so you can see. So I'll be taking that another trade, but I'm still skeptical because I want this trade to actually come and hit TP, which my TP is down here, okay, to this daily POI. So I'm expecting it to at least break structure to the downside and then take my TP. But if it does come to this point fast, then I'll be taking that trade and also risking the two trades to see on how price will turn out to. So that is all for GBPUSD, and also for the whole of our analysis and also our review and focus. So I don't have much to say, but all I'm asking is that continue being patient, because for me this looked like 9 trades that I took, okay. So with those 9 trades, I feel for me it was a bit of a failure, and psychologically it wasn't right for me. So I have to like build myself on that also. So for now I just don't have much to say, but I just love to leave that as a key takeaway, and also leave you with that video so that you can maybe like watch again and see if you can get on some other tips that you might have left behind. So if you want us to trade together, you can join me up on a Telegram group. I'll leave the link on the description box below. And also if you want some quick tips, you can check on me, TikTok, JSMFX, and yeah, on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, blah 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 buttons, and yeah, see you next week. Have a nice weekend, guys. Cheers and God bless.